As I mentioned last week, there is something galling about the gaslighting of the vaccine injured, right? It's just simply, it is galling at a human level that we would fail to take care of people who just simply did what they were asked and it came up badly. But here's the extension to that thought. It ought to be galvanizing. It doesn't matter which camp you were in. You might have been in the camp that said, look, COVID is a terrifically dangerous disease. We have this tool that is going to limit its spread, which ultimately it did not. But at the time, people thought that it would. Mm-hmm. And it works if people get it in large numbers. It will fail if people don't get it, right? So if you were in that camp, right? And the point is, look, let's be adults about this. Medical technologies have unpredictable effects. They may be overwhelmingly useful, but it doesn't mean nobody gets hurt, right? So people who advocated, hey, just get the damn vaccine, ought to be united with those of us who were like, hey, wait a minute, there's an awful lot of uncertainty around these new technologies. There's more novelty to these technologies, less testing, and you're proposing a mass vaccination program. So if these things turn out to be really terrible, you will have done a tremendous amount of harm. Shouldn't matter which of those two camps you were in, or if you were in some third camp. Anybody ought to be able to see that whether the harms were very rare or very common, it is incumbent on us morally and in terms of the system functioning to figure out how many people were hurt and to treat them very, very well, to study the conditions that they have, to figure out what it is that alleviates these conditions and make sure those people are taken care of. And the reasons for this are many, right? One, we can learn from our errors in thinking. Two, we encourage people in the future to follow good advice with respect to, we have reason to believe this is safe and we want you to take it because that will increase the effectiveness of our campaign to control this pathogen, right? If you really believe that, if you think that that's what was being said, then it is also something that you should be interested in, that we find out just how rare these adverse events were and that we treat those people very well so that the message next time isn't you're going to be left to your own devices if our new medical technology injures you.
No matter how good a treatment, no matter how good a piece of medical technology, there will be some adverse events. This is just a truth of the universe, right? Sometimes broccoli harms people, right? Sometimes aspirin harms people. Sometimes some particular novel treatments harm people. And pretending that this isn't happening it raises the question of who would actually be interested in treating the people who did what we were all being told was the right thing to do, and they went and they got the treatment. Who benefits from gaslighting and actually making it hard, gaslighting those people and making it harder for them to move forward with their lives in a way that is the maximally effective and healthy, given that they actually were injured.
Right. And so this is the conclusion of this line of thought, is the absence of the people who were so enthusiastic and so aggressive about the vaccine campaign, the absence of those people from the chorus who wants the vaccine injured to be taken seriously by the medical establishment is conspicuous. The only people who should have an interest in not seeking out the vaccine injured and treating them are people who wish to obscure how many of them there are and so can't afford to have them counted. And that shouldn't include any of the decent people, right? If you got it wrong, and let's just say, maybe we don't know which side had it wrong, but everybody who's interested in finding out ought to be united in seeing those people treated well. Yes. Right. So the absence of some of these folks from that chorus is conspicuous, and it raises questions about what is really occurring. So I hope that people who hear that and were on the aggressively pro-vaccine side in this argument think about it and realize, yes, of course I want those people treated. It's in our interest. It's in our interest now. It is the morally right thing. And it is certainly in our interest the next time there's some vaccine and a question about whether or not it's safe to take. We need to know how safe these were for us to be able to do that next time.